guys, welcome to the channel of love. Okay, I feel like I want to do a Celtic cross. I feel really dazed as well. So like I've kind of been taken out of it. I just feel really sleepy, tired. My eyes, I can't really focus too much. So we're going to tap into the fairy tarots. I've got the magical mermaids and dolphins and the magical unicorns. We'll see what's going on. I really do want to do a Celtic cross. Okay, where are we? Thursday. We can have a look at how the situation has been, maybe earlier on in the week. We can have a look at how it is now, and then maybe a look into the weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. What to expect. Let me put these cards over here. Okay, how am I going to do this? I'm going to pull the Celtic cross and then clarify with the fairy tarot. Let's get them ready. Oh, I feel like I'm getting them all ready. Okay, maybe they're all going to clarify. Maybe we're just going to do a Celtic cross and we're just going to clarify with all of these. That'd be interesting. Break free. Try different ventures and experiences as a way to grow and learn. Okay, let's move my coffee. Oh, we're going really slow. Okay, it'll be all right once we get into it. Let's shuffle these cards. Oh, they're shuffling well. It's like every day I'm shuffling. Woo! Okay, it's quite an upbeat mood. Let's have a look at the situation, and oh, they feel lovely. Oh, they feel really nice. They feel smooth. Or maybe it's just me. I feel as light as a feather. It's like my hands are just... So they're receiving the cards really well. I suppose it's like a numbness. Like if you've had pins and needles and you touch the skin, it's kind of a... I don't know, it's like a sensation that's a bit numbing but nice. Numbing but nice. Let's have a look at what the situation is then. Ten of Cups. Is that happily ever after? Look at that. That's a happy families card. Do you know what I actually, all I've been singing is, we're going to the chapel and we're gonna get married all morning. As soon as I've woke. And it's like, come on, who's getting married? Who's excited? We're going to the chapel and we're... It's like, get out of my head. Okay. Any blocks? The Lovers. So this is the connection, okay? So we have the Lovers. They have a very strong magnetic spiritual connection. They're called the Lovers because normally the relationship is a secret. There you go, that's the block. It's like people really maybe get concerned when the Lovers come up, but when you encounter this type of connection, you both want to pull away, okay, and not admit to the connection. So sometimes most lovers maybe should be together, but normally they're in other situations because they wasn't planning on meeting each other or wasn't really planning on this connection. So it is really just, it's very typical for the energy at the moment, and that's divine masculine, divine feminine, admitting the love, coming together. Off to the chapel to get married. There you go. Happily ever after. It's just too funny, sorry. It's maybe not that easy. But you get the idea. So, alright, let's have a look. What's gone on over the week then? Oh dear. We're going to the... I've got to, please. Another song. Come on, give me another song. Oh, the star. Oh, Simply Red now. I wanna fall from the stars. Oh, come on. I need to go to bed. I feel ya. I hope you comprehend. Okay, that's a very masculine coming through there in the past. This is just really about the enlightenment, connecting maybe a lot during dream states. The energy at the moment, we've got the masculine who is waiting for the right time, the harvest. So he's kind of wallowing a little bit here. And it's about his money. The divine masculine is wallowing about his money. Okay. What's going to happen over the next few days then? I was going to... I can't yawn on camera. Come on. I do apologise now for maybe my scattiness. My dazedness. I don't know. Don't yawn. I want to take my own advice from yesterday. I want to go and have a nap. Wow, there it is. The 1111 card. That's divine counterparts coming together. We're going to the chapel. Stop it. It's 10:44 if that means anything. What Divine says is going on, what's the lesson? And it's the Divine Masculine here with the Nine of Wands. Now, the Nine of Wands is, I always call it like the last hurdle card. Okay, so you might have just, you've kind of been through the worst, and now the last hurdle really is the connection. Nine of Wands is about connecting with spirituality, okay, losing the voice, spiritual with divine, following guidance. What's wrong with me? Oh, I've been asking myself that for years. What's wrong with me? Okay. Oh. Spiritual guidance. Receiving divine guidance and following it. Trusting it. So how is... It's a divine masculine reading. How is the divine masculines viewing themselves? Four of Pentacles. I'm going to have to find out some more about that because he could still be hanging on to his pentacles. Yeah. How others are viewing or how this is affecting others. Burdened. How others are viewing the divine masculine. They're feeling his burden. They see that he's... Did I say wallowing? Hopes or fears, allowing this love to begin. Unconditional love. Passionate offer coming in. What's the outcome? Eight of Swords. Not telling you. Okay. Not telling you. That's fine. Divine Feminines, just, you know, stay disconnected. If you're anything like me, you just kind of, I don't know, you're sleepwalking a bit through life, so you're kind of been taken out of it anyway. I was speaking to someone yesterday about that, about being so detached from the masculine's energy, the divine masculine's energy, but still being able to actually advise. And I was working with someone yesterday and they were exactly the same. They're like, I don't even know why I'm reading into this energy, but it's what divine wants us to focus on, but not focus on. It's a bit screwed up, isn't it? It's like guiding something that you don't really have like that attachment to. So there you go. And very natural. It's just, you know, okay, I feel it's starting to lift now and the sunshine has just come out. So let's have a quick run over. No, we'll do it as we clarify. We'll do it as we clarify. So let's tap into these fairies. All the creatures that are working behind the scenes for us, the mystical animals, mermaids, dolphins, fairies. Ten of Cups. Oh, the screen's gone dark. Where are you? Oh, there you are. Where are you? I was just looking for myself, sorry. Why did that go so dark quickly? Two of Summer, Two of Cups. This is a beautiful reading, guys. Ten of Cups. Two of Cups is divine masculine, divine feminines coming together. Falling in love or making a serious commitment to someone. Forgiveness and the resolution of a problem. Don't give up. Your relationship can be healed. You go into the chapel. I'm going to drive myself insane with that song today. And I imagine you guys you might be singing that as well. I'm so sorry. It's like love is in the air. Everywhere I look around. Go and just, I don't know. It's the energy of it, isn't it? So the energy of the Two of Cups. Falling in love or making a serious commitment to someone. That's just a knowing that you can provide this, and also that you're able to receive it as well, to allow yourself to be happy and to have all the things that you desire, and to actually just have some drive or some desire for life, a life that's just going to grow and grow in the love, and that's beautiful, the commitment. So the block, the lovers, the connection, okay, the connection that causes a lot of problems. So that's the block. What am I? I'm not using those, I'm using these. You can see they're kind of looking, going, what now then? So what now? The awakening. Change the way you're looking at the situation and embrace your uniqueness and a temporary pause in the action. So it's the divine masculine here, kind of with his toe, okay, like just on the yin yang. Don't know why, just point. He's like, okay, he's balancing, needing to balance this connection out. It's because of the magnetism of it and the strength of the connection. It can be quite unbalancing, but the awakening of the divine masculine to the connection, and comprehending it. Already saying that with like kind of simply read. So stars. We're going to get onto that next, but I want to read the Hangman, and let's see what the Hangman, or the awakening. It came in great with the reading at the beginning of the week, when it was focusing on enlightening the divine masculines. I feel I've been quite harsh on camera, getting across maybe some lessons, important things that we do need to kind of comprehend. Okay, so book 12. That's how old I feel, and look, I've opened it up. I'm 12. It's time for a change in perspective. Seeing your challenges in an entirely different way can help you find a new lease on life or end a stagnant situation. Ask God, the angels, and the fairies to give you signs that will help you perceive things in a whole other light. This card can also show up to remind you just how wonderful, how do you say this? I don't know how you say that word. I think I've looked it up before, and today I'm really not. Yeah, I'm going to miss it. I'll put E-C-L-E. It's like selective. It's like elect, but they've chucked a C in there. Electic, but they've chucked a C, and I can't pronounce that. And magical you are. When others value qualities within you that you may have labelled weird or unusual, you can come to see the incredible strength and the potential that lies in being your unique self. Oh, it just comes in with my feelings today. I feel really quite weird, unusual. Okay, it were clear. It'd be totally different later on or tomorrow. So this is a card of charity and kindness. Just as the fairies are willing to reach out and help you on your path, you are asked to do the same for those who may be in need. It's beautiful to extend aid and compassion to others. Remember, though, to keep a balance so that you don't fall into, an unhealthy pattern of overgiving. The fairy on the card is upside down, giving him a whole new way of reflecting upon his situation. The traditional yin-yang symbol rests on his feet as he searches for just the right balance in his life. Additional meanings of this card: a new point of view, seeing beyond what's obvious, hidden action behind an apparent standstill, and exploring your past lifetimes, and giving so that others can gain. One thing I've noticed with these divine counterparts, ones that are in union and then ones that are actually very on the cusp of being into union. So there is the communication, but there's still this hesitance, is that about stepping into purpose. It seems that you have to kind of be in your purpose, so you need to be noticing that you're mentoring, you're attracting people that are requiring help. You might find that you're more giving. Just in general, you just know that you're kind of being called upon. You're kind of a big part in someone's healing. So if you kind of get maybe an old friend or just a text out of the blue, I've even had random phone calls. So just, yes, people that you meet and you seem to inspire, that's kind of like your mission work. You'll know if you're on purpose, if you're on purpose. And it's that surrender to actually going to work, working hard for money. It's not really satisfying, and you could quite easily, just help people. And then we have the problem about, the exchange of money, which you've kind of got to let go. You've got to give yourself freely to help people who I don't want to say who are worthy. You'll know the people that have always kind of drained on your energy. They've kind of gone. You've kind of spent enough time trying to help those people, and deep down if you've been doing that, okay, and it's time to kind of, there's been no change, and a new kind of I don't know, and just a new people come in, different people, and you find that actually you'd rather be working with those because they're more receptive maybe, or they're more appreciative, they're wanting to, they're kind of hungry for it, rather than trying to help the people that actually just don't seem to be getting it, and maybe you're not wasting your energy, but you could be using your energy on more worthwhile projects. I don't know, because these people really do kind of, these new people, you'll find you'll start to gel and you'll have ideas, and you're inspired by them, and it's the teaching and learning. You're the teacher and the students, and that's what you're teaching people when they're actually on the same page, on the same maybe wavelength as you. Let's get off of that. But that's what I picked up on. It's about actually being in some kind of purpose. Okay, that means that you're not, in hermitage to a state where you're depressed. The best way to get out of there is going to go and find somebody else to help. So yeah, that's just what I've noticed, is that have a look and see whether, you're actually putting that first before the love connection, and understanding that the divine masculine and divine feminine coming together will really be able to, with the yin yang there, really be able to shine that light. But they need to be doing it individually, okay? Because it's not dependent upon another being there to do it. You can achieve this alone. This is about finding wholeness, this journey, okay? It's about being whole within and not needing someone else to complete you, but understanding that you're stronger together than apart, okay? But you are strong apart. So there's definitely something about being, whether you're involved in, things that that are for, you're aiming for the greater good. Started chatting now, haven't I? Oh, that comes so naturally. Let's have a look at what Simply Bed's up to here. Falling from the Stars. It's a star card. That's exactly what the Divine Feminines have been advised to do, is to stay in their star energy. To I've been seeing so much going on and watching how people are dropping things to help situations, and understanding there's been some things gone on as well where people's arrangements have been kind of changed, or events have happened, but you kind of see why, because they needed to be in a certain location to actually help a certain person at a time. Have a look for the syncs and just see where you're being positioned, because I'm sure that there's people around you that you can help, and you can probably help them. It's something to do with your own story. So it'll get you start speaking about your story, the empathy, and you really step into your light worker mission. So let's have a look at the star. Oh, I want to shuffle them like this. Let's just do that then, that's fine. Oh wow, the Ace of Autumn, it's where the prosperity is. It's exactly what I was just saying. It's about the abundance. Okay, so shining bright and your abundance will come. It's just about actually you're here to serve out your purpose. So a windfall of money, advice or assistance from others, a very successful project and a happy change in your career. So it's about seeing it now. Let's read it. It's the Ace of Pentacles. We've got to read it. The universe here is offering a windfall of money, the advice and assistance that you need. Okay. I've opened it up to the lovers who are getting married. Look. They've gone to the chapel. Ace of Autumn. Let's get back to this. Wonderful news. I told you. I woke up knowing. Come on. These aren't even words, are they? I woke up knowing something wonderful was happening. Okay, wonderful news. A windfall of unexpected resources arrives to help you pursue your dreams. The fairies are trustworthy manifestors, and they've brought to you a gift. This may be financial abundance, such as money, or it could be wise counsel, physical help with your project, or someone who can introduce you to very influential people. Use your resources wisely, make a plan for how you can best utilise them successfully, and if your thoughts have turned towards longer term goals, I'm going to add bigger in there. So if your thoughts have turned towards bigger long-term goals, now is a good time to make investments. The young fairy sits upon great potential knowledge. She knows that one day she'll be able to turn it into magnificent abundance. Additional meanings of this card: investing in real estate, a very successful venture, giving without expecting anything in return, and a happy change in your career. And I think that's really what's gone on. It's here, the divine masculine, divine feminine, the awakening, but I do think it's actually realising your purpose. The divine feminines were reading for the beginning of the week was you have enough vision to make a decision, just to know what's right, and it was all about really stepping into purpose, stepping into this star energy. So that's what's happened. Now we have the moping here, maybe wallowing about money for the divine masculine. Okay, let's have a look then. Let's have a look. It looks like he's dressed like me today. They all do. Why do they all look like me? Why they're all wearing like a nice terracotta? Well, nice, I don't know. Look. She's got a dress on that colour. Oh, it goes with my nail varnish as well. He's got that. There's something about mirroring. There you go, of course. Of course it would be. Mirroring the purpose. They're on the same page. There's got to be a reason I picked up on the colour. So it has to be this mirroring here. They're wanting the same thing. Divine masculine, let's have a look at why you're moping about money. we've been working on this one as well about letting go. I've tried to share some stuff on the Facebook page as well. No, it's a tough one to trust the universe on your abundance. But come on, it's more than you could ever imagine. And I think that's what's scary for the masculines. It's like, you just know you could be extremely financially abundant together. But it takes a surrender first. The world, look, you can have the world, a brilliant success, the freedom to go in any direction, the finances to be able to travel, to share that light. There is no set location. You will be sent, and you may be sent separately as well, and that's quite good for the separation, to be used to actually being on purpose but not together. You will have so many talents between you that you will work together, but there'll be times when you will be off in your own little sectors. So the world, a brilliant success, the freedom to go in any direction, and a journey that is now complete. I got like goosebumps. Let's read the world. I'm in no rush. Might have to put the kettle on to make another coffee. No, I won't. I won't. 21. I was only thinking today, that's the age I got married. 21. How I would do things so differently now. I think the second marriage is best, because the first marriage, it's all a bit jittery. Sometimes you're not even sure. Sometimes you know you only want to be with that person for the whole lifespan, and you kind of, I don't know. I think I had a big wedding. I had 100 people that came to a church. I did get married in the church. I wanted a traditional wedding, bells ringing. I had the biggest, puffiest dress I could find with a long train on it as well. I had, 3 bridesmaids, 2 page boys, and I financed it all myself. I spent a whole year, me and my husband, we got engaged after 3 months of being together, and then married a year later. So we only had 3 months, and then we were just saving for our wedding. And yeah, it was a big wedding. And I don't really look at the photos. They're kind of all tucked away. It's just in its own memory box. Okay, I don't regret any of that. And it was all done very nicely. Me and my husband put our wedding rings together, and they went away, and they're just kind of, there was no selling anything or burning photos, okay? It was just, that's that chapter closed. When I have a look, yeah, there was a lot of people. It was a big wedding. And I felt that I actually just maybe focused on making everyone else happy on my day. With like the wedding reception, there was another 100 people. And yeah, it was all about actually just providing fun for other people. It wasn't so much about me and my husband actually getting married. We rarely actually saw each other on the day because you're just so busy. And then going back to the hotel, I remember saying to him, we're bloody having sex. You have to have sex on your wedding night. There's no way I'm not going to. But we never drank the champagne. I think it took about half hour to get all the clips out of my hair. So it was fun. But I think second time round, you kind of have a bit of an idea. It's, I don't know, just like a practice run, wasn't it? So that's how I look at things. Yeah. Anyway, bravo. It's time to take a bow, as everyone is so very proud of you and the progress you have made. Recognise your own successes as a way to reinforce just how powerful and creative you are. Like your fairy friends, you have the magic touch right now. Be fearless in choosing your next big accomplishment. This is a time to move forward in your spiritual development, continue your journey along the path of enlightenment, as it's also the path of joy. Our fairy from the Dreamer card has made it successfully to the end of her journey. She wears the sign for infinity in her crown and on her shoes, indicating that she can now begin a whole new adventure if she desires. Additional meanings of this card: a journey that's now at an end, great achievements, new beginnings, the freedom to go in any direction, and a sense of completion. We don't have to hate our past, do we? Or our past choices. We just need to change the story. And it's like, yeah, just be truthful. I don't know many people that get married the first time and it's the right one. But we're led to believe that that's the way it is. Now, if we were told that maybe we're married like 4 times and then our 5th partner would be the one, we'd kind of understand the process, wouldn't we? That's just about breaking templates again, and that's the fear of not actually remarrying, and that there's nothing really wrong with it. Sometimes when I see these people that have been married, I don't know, you hear of these people that are in and out of relationships, and I think, well, good for you, at least you're not settling. You might not be making wise choices, but at least you're brave enough to end it if it's not right. So, I don't know. It's just your own personal view on it. I think really your upbringing and how you view marriage. Okay, 4 of Wands. There is that celebration, this marriage card. Unity. How lovely. Okay, the marriage card. It's the Hierophant. Do the right thing for the right reason. Compare traditional versus new approaches to see which works for you. And a spiritually minded community. It's about marriage, traditions, the way that we do things, old belief systems, changing that. Just changing that template. It's okay to divorce and it's okay to remarry. It's okay that you didn't marry the right person straight away. But what you're going to start seeing is people who are marrying for the right reasons and can actually help and guide others to be able to do that. And most definitely with me, because even before my husband's transition, we had separated. We never got divorced, and we found it very hard to actually separate our energies. Obviously, I understand the meaning behind that now. He's no longer, here in the physical, so I value that actual time, and that things didn't, I don't know, for some reason we couldn't kind of end it. But he's the father of my children. But they watched, my youngest, I believe, was 8 when I first separated from, she's 16 now, and when I first separated from my husband, I remember sitting them down and discussing it. They still saw their dad around, we still had family days, but they understood that I wasn't happy. And if they ever found themselves in that situation as well, they were not to stay in a relationship that they wasn't happy in. And so I believe that I showed, myself and my husband showed them how to treat even a partner that you leave with respect. My husband never left me in the lurch. We went house hunting together for our individual houses. People asked if we were moving in together when we were telling them that we were separating. They kind of looked at us, and me and my husband were best friends like that. Whether that was right or wrong, I don't know, it doesn't matter, because it was my journey and he no longer is actually here. So I'm pleased. I don't want to have that toxicity with him. And there's a lot of people that wanted me to have that encouraged me to separate my energy from him. And it didn't feel natural. We would go away and they'd say, when were you getting divorced? And I say to him, do you want to get divorced? And he's like, we'll know when we're going to get divorced. There's reasons why we didn't get divorced. Okay? And that was to do with the Ace of Autumn, the Ace of Pentacles. I was married for a long time. I was 21 when I got married, and he passed away like 2 years ago. So, and I'm 42 now. So, yes, that's half my life. And I'm not going to erase it, but it doesn't mean, it has meaning for me, but not in a way that it's just a chapter. It's a chapter that I want to fondly be able to talk about. But I'd already kind of separated. It wasn't that true love, but I knew that. When my husband asked me to marry him, I said to him, I cannot offer you forever, but I can offer you now. I was only 20 when we got engaged. And it was kind of, I knew I was not able to actually say to somebody that I knew wasn't forever, offer them that. And so I said to him, but I can only offer you the now and the promise that if I'm ever unhappy, I will tell you. And that's how I left him. I just said to him, I'm not happy anymore. And my happiness seemed more important to me than how he kind of viewed my happiness. So If he wasn't going to take my happiness seriously, I was. It wasn't even bad. I just wasn't happy. And we got back, you do this, then maybe get back together to try again. We'd done that for a year as well. We spent a year apart and then we came back together. And he asked me if he could move back in. And I know my heart kind of sank and I didn't want to do it, but I needed to give it a try. I needed to be sure. Or maybe it was just to show him that I wasn't, you know, I don't know what that was about, but it happened. And I knew pretty soon into that wasn't going to be happening. And again, I kind of plucked up the courage to say, I want to go back to being separated. And then I actually moved away. I moved an hour away from him because I knew that we were really hard to kind of keep apart. It was weird. We couldn't be together, but then when we was apart, we was always on the phone, and it's like a different person. Have you ever had that? When it's a different person that you're talking to or texting, but when you're face to face, it's like, oh, I like the relationship when we're apart, but how the hell does that work if you can't really be together for longer than like 2 days? And then, so that, it's very hard to end a relationship. Very hard. But for the right reasons. My children are so much more happier. They did walk on eggshells with their dad around because he was quite stricter than me. He wasn't as kind of openly, you know, chilled out. So, unity, lovely. That's about, and because it's, now we're looking at the Nine of Wands, which is about following spiritual guidance. Queen of Summer, loving, comforting, emotional and intuitive. Listen to your heart. Intuitive insights you can trust, and taking care of others perhaps too much. So here's the Divine Feminine, the Queen of Cups that's come in. And I believe it's divine really is guiding the Divine Masculine to the Divine Feminine. It could be dreams. I'm hearing a lot about counterparts having dreams about sleeping with other people and then actually feeling really guilty about it afterwards. It was a dream, but it's like they betrayed their counterpart in the dream and it didn't feel nice. It kind of heightened the love. So whether you're resonating with that. I love it when people start telling me stuff and I know that, you know, I've heard it from others and I'm like, whoa, this is something that's obviously a collective. I've had 2 dreams now myself, so yeah, so I don't know if it's a feminine energy or whether it's a masculine energy, but something's going on. I'm not sure what energy it is. It's hard to tell the difference. So, 4 of Pentacles, present energy. How the Divine Masculine's viewing himself in this situation. Well, we've seen the wanting the world, but kind of wallowing and having a look at these pentacles. And then we have the 4 of Pentacles here. It's about really hanging on to them. There's this fear of letting go. The Emperor. There you go. The Emperor's got to be the most stubborn. I won't swear. You can add your own. The most stubborn person ever. Let go. Because you're not going to get your Empress until you let go. And then maybe you might be able to go back to being the Emperor for a bit. But just let go. It says, use logic and structure to increase your success. Get organised. A firm but compassionate leader. It's just dealing with this money here. Look, you've got the heart, you've got the world. It's all to do with this money. Okay, your burden down. 10 of Wands. Carrying so much burden and it could be released really quickly. Okay, which you know. But it's like you don't want to. So you're carrying the burdens, maybe of other people. You're carrying your own as well. Look at them. Princess of Spring, optimistic, enthusiastic, creative and energetic. It's time to go after your dreams. Do something that expands your horizons and let your creativity take flight. I felt that I was actually going to yawn again, and I felt like it was like, not that it was boring, I don't want to be disrespectful, but it's really, if only you knew that. And with the Princess of Spring here, which is, we would normally say the Page of Wands, okay? It's the feminine here who's saying, you know, it's time to go after your dreams. Do something that expands. I said about, you know, having bigger long-term dreams. It's like she's trying to kind of get through to the masculine here. Well, the masculine's hopes or fears are this unconditional love, this passion, be able to... So we've got the male version here. So the Princess of Spring. And then we have the Page of Wands, which would be the Page of Spring. That is the Princess. Got the masculine here with the passion, unconditional love, allowing it to flow. The Moon. Powerful, intuitive epiphanies, letting go of worry and fear, and understanding the truth of a situation. Something's definitely happening in dream states, or epiphanies coming in, just an understanding, okay, or just kind of like getting it, like the aha moment. Okay, we've got the Eight of Swords, Ten of Winter, okay, which is the Ten of Swords. It was the card that came out for yesterday when he's laying on the floor with the swords in his back. But this looks quite hopeful, doesn't it? The resolution of difficulties, a weight lifted off your shoulders, and the end of an addiction or codependency. How awesome is that? So it just states the endings of them. And then we have the Divine Feminine here, who's already following divine guidance, not really. It's kind of just staying out of it. This is Divine Masculine doing this all on his own. Well done, you guys. Well done. Seriously. It's been a long journey. I work with quite a lot of masculines that are so at this point, they just know. They're ready. I have comments of, you know, I just want to share this love. This love is just so beautiful, and it's so nice. Especially as I've kind of been with them on their journey, so I've seen the transformation. It's beautiful. It's makes me glow. It's beautiful being in their presence. Okay, still needing to be pulled up, I'm feeling, and manners could be one of it when they're kind of in a grumpy mood. It's like when they've got their Mr. Grumpy Pants on, and I've started now saying, you know, mind how you respond, you know, try and be a bit more... Actually, what I say is, that's not really gentlemanlike. That's it. Because that's really what I tend to pull them up on, whether they're acting like a gentleman. Because they are really all true gents, okay, but they have a very big ego. And when they're down, and they could be a little bit nasty. And I actually got an apology yesterday. I was like, that's okay, but remember that, you know, it's like they derail, okay, and it's like, okay, that's cool, but can you get back on the rails, please, soon, and kind of, you know, there's work to do, and maybe we'll talk when you're in a better place. So just that, because they are still really struggling with this fear, but there is this, they are coming, they're wanting to, but they could quite easily run and go back into... old behaviours, not to the extreme, but when they're feeling a bit low, they can kind of lose it again and go down. So, but I feel it's just this work on being that gentleman. That's all. How would a gentleman act, behave, respond? Think before you respond, because that's definitely something that the masculines have to try and pull themselves up on. And at the moment, I'm pulling some people up on it, which I feel was part of my role, really, just to learn a bit of respect. Okay. Especially if maybe your counterpart is struggling and maybe they reach out and you kind of snap at them. It's like, actually, that's a bit rude. Maybe they kind of really needed your, you know, advice, or they felt that you were the only person that could talk to. So yeah, there's that. Especially as the Divine Feminine's now coming round. So it's very touchy out there at the minute. And especially as light workers have actually been, I'm seeing people being, you know, drawn to help people that maybe are really struggling, and they really need uplifting to the point where they could really quite self-destruct. So okay, So we've done the reading. Cool. Let's look at the bottom of the decks. Princess of Autumn. Studious, responsive, cheerful and mischievous. Happy news about your career, promotions or scholarships. Well thought out plans that go perfectly, needing a little push to get going. The well thought out plans that go perfectly, of course they will, because we've been working on actually visualising these. When you can see it, okay, you can allow it to happen. If you can't even see this type of opportunity or the potential of it, then it's not going to happen. It's only when you can see it, you could see how it could happen. You might get a bit scared because, wow, it's, I'm not even gonna, I can't talk about the intensity of being surrounded by that type of love. It's the most beautiful thing. I'm watching these divine counterparts, their parents, okay, being so drawn by it, okay, and it's affecting them and wanting, they're just intoxicated by like their child's love, even though their child's like an adult now. It's how proud they are that their child has found this. So it's why am I shuffling? Because every day we're shuffling. Okay, let's just leave that. The bottom. Oh look, it's legacy. It just is everything that you'll ever desire. The Ten of Cups and the Ten of, we started off what the situation is, and it's the Ten of Cups with the Two of Cups. The block is the connection, awakening to the connection. What's happened in the past has been these realizations, the comprehension of this and the possibility of it. Then we have a bit of fear here in the present energy. Looks like moving over the weekend there could be some, I don't know, it's just a commitment, or it's being committed, doing the right thing for the right reason. Comparing traditional versus new approaches. We're going to have to read that one. I know, because I got sidetracked to start to talk about my own wedding, but I was actually thinking of that this morning, especially when I was singing We're Going to the Chapel. We're going to get married. So, behind the scenes, Divine is saying that Divine Masculine is now waking to the Divine Feminine. The Emperor is hanging on to his pentacles still. Divine Feminine saying to the Divine Masculine, let go, because he's carrying all the burdens. The fear is really about, I want to say, trusting these powerful epiphanies that are coming in and actually taking that leap of faith towards this love with the passion. There could still be a fear of rejection here for the masculines to actually have this intensity of love, finally being able to express it and then being rejected. Okay, but that's just the fear that the Divine Masculine needs to get over, and he just has to be brave enough really to see letting go of worry and fear and understanding the truth of a situation. If you feel that emotion, it's better that you just declare it rather than keep it in, regardless of the outcome. If you have a feeling that you need to express, your best just to express it. It will make you feel better, and you can just deal with what the outcome is when actually you've expressed it. It's not to have worry or fear. It's about your plans going perfectly, it said, didn't it? Well thought out plans going perfectly. So you don't want the doom and gloom and expect to be rejected. Change that around. But I think there has been the epiphany. Ten of Pentacles. Okay. I'm a bit tired from all the talking, really. Let's pull some Mermaids and Dolphins. Oh, I was going to read the Unity. Okay, we do need to read this Unity card. I've got to stop being distracted. We have to, because of the wedding song that keeps coming up, and it's the Hierophant, which is the card of traditions, marriage, commitment. It's like he's giving them a lesson here, look. Learning the traditional ways of doing things can sometimes be very effective. Other times, though, we need to break out of the box and consider new and creative modes of accomplishing our goals. Discussing various methods, old and new, with those you trust can help you know which philosophy to follow at any given time. If your goals are meeting with resistance, it may be due to the method you are using to attain them rather than a flaw in your actual plans. Be open to trusted people's perceptions regarding the right strategy to take. Having a support group of friends and spiritual teacher who walks his or her talk will uplift you and allow you to stand tall in all your work. It's important to always stay on a path of integrity in every aspect of life. The law of attraction rewards those who follow their dreams and remaining honest and true in dealing with others. Align yourself with organisations or people who have high spiritual ideals. In this card, out. Oh man, I'm sorry. Man, I'm sorry. For some reason, I just can't get these words out. I just keep making this funny noise. I don't know what I'm actually doing. Right, back to it. Align yourself with organisations or people who have high spiritual ideals. In this card, our two fairy students have found a mentor to teach them both old and new ways of thinking. Additional meanings of this card: doing the right thing for the right reason, remaining true to your principles, being a spiritual teacher to others and or consulting one for guidance, respecting your elders or the past, the power of prayer. Divine Feminine at the moment is very much demanding, not demanding, but yeah, demanding respect. If it's not given to the Divine Feminine, like I just said, I've just like, could you just maybe watch how you respond, please? Or you can even joke around, okay, Mr. Grumpy Pants. There's no need to really, yeah. However, whichever way kind of works with you and with the person, you'll know your own way that you can kind of, but yeah, Divine Masculines, they've come through so much that when they slip back now, they think that it's acceptable to go back to old ways, and it's not. That was the whole point of the journey. So it's not acceptable to keep going back. It's not very gentlemanlike. Okay, the purpose of this, I want to become a Divine Masculine, to become a true gentleman. How do true gentlemen behave, act, speak? How do they treat a true Divine Feminine? What kind of relationships would a true gentleman? If you want to be respected as a gentleman, do you live those qualities? Are you deep down really at your core in integrity, authentic? And most like to think that they are, but they're not. And it's not about it's a bad thing. Most are not. So you have to recognise the behaviour, and then obviously you'll be able to recognise it in others and help them to become gentlemen and ladies. Yeah. Let's go back to these cards. Accept heaven's help. You've prayed for help, so get out of the way and let heaven help you. I'm going to have to so read this. Do I have any coffee? None. Okay. You've asked, what should I do next? That looks like the Lovers here. Definitely the Divine Masculine. They're looking at the Divine Feminine. She's looking up at Divine. You've asked, what do I do next? This card responds, trust that your prayers have been heard and answered. Simply rest and retreat for now. After all, you prayed for divine intervention, so step aside and let heaven intervene, as this is the help you prayed for. You can assist the process initiated by your prayers through quiet contemplation. Ask heaven to give you very clear, easily understandable guidance, letting you know if you need to take any action. In the meantime, enjoy knowing your angels and guides surround you in your situation with loving care. There's definitely a certainty of marriage. So it's like someone's feeling really, really happy, but they're knowing that Divine just needs to kind of, it's a burden here. But I feel it's not kind of stopping the situation. Let's get to another one. Self-forgiveness. Okay. Let go of old guilt and remember that you're God's perfect child. I shared on the Facebook page yesterday a great meditation for healing childhood, okay, inner childhood kind of, it was an inner childhood healing. And how you should speak to yourself and how you need to kind of forgive yourself for how you were raised, or maybe how you can recognise maybe you've raised your own children and kind of lost sight of it all, maybe because you just had your own pain inside and that was reflecting. So we have been working on this, so let's have a look, because I spoke about something being the last hurdle now. It really is just addressing the connection, but self-forgiveness. You've been very hard on yourself lately, using harsh words towards yourself verbally or mentally. I'm going to ask you maybe in your mind, what was this harsh word? Because yesterday all I kept saying out loud was pathetic. You're just pathetic. That is 11:33. And I know that because I actually wanted to share it and say, what is this, the word of the day? It was like a very aggressive word to use, and I screenshotted, okay, what in the Collins Dictionary, I have it already. Pathetic. What is a pathetic person? If you describe a person or animal as pathetic, you mean that they are sad and weak or helpless, and they make you feel very sorry for them. A pathetic little dog with a curly tail. The small group of onlookers presented a pathetic sight. So, I was picking up on some, I thought this is a very, what's a word? So, you've been very hard on yourself lately, using harsh words towards yourself verbally or mentally. While it's healthy to hold yourself up to high standards, this card says that you've bordered on self-abuse. Everyone makes mistakes, and it's normal to feel regret occasionally. What's important though is how you handle these mistakes. As you focus on your positive attributes, your self-esteem will increase and your stress level will be diminished. Remember that guilt is the opposite of love. There you go, don't be surprised then, because you're the yin-yang, okay? And we spoke about mirroring. So look at it as, maybe when you're feeling positive, okay, your kind of divine counterpart maybe will, be using harsh words against themselves. So the yin-yang. I spoke about being careful how you feel because it's reflected. So you really want to get both of you in this state of self-forgiveness and with the dreams and actually just taking on the world together and letting the past go. Okay. Like I said, the happily ever after. And off you go to the chapel. But self-forgiveness first, before any of that could ever happen. Otherwise it would just keep repeating itself. And it will make the relationship very unhappy. You have to allow yourself to be loved and to give that love. As you focus on your positive attributes, your self-esteem will increase and your stress level will be diminished. Remember that guilt is the opposite of love. Your guilt doesn't help anyone or anything, but your divine love helps everyone, everywhere. Affirm, I ask that all effects of my mistakes be undone in all direction of time, and I now release all guilt completely. I love my true self from top to bottom. How awesome is that? Let's say it again. Affirm. Write it down if you need to. Carry it around with you. I don't know, blue tack it somewhere. Stick it up and affirm this. I ask that all effects of my mistakes be undone in all directions of time, and I now release all guilt completely. I love my true self from top to bottom. I feel that this is really saying that your karmic debt has been paid. I had this message a while ago that come through that was, I've paid all my karmic debt, all the things, the wrongdoings that I've done, I have been through enough now. And I've repaid with the work that I do, the voluntary work, my giving and receiving. I've paid all debt. And that's when you can move on. when there's no more guilt. And especially when you realise a lot of people have done maybe a lot worse. Okay? But this is about evolving into divineness, so you have to let it go, change that, and then help the others that maybe just, it's about awakening to it, our behaviours. It's not, it's these templates, it's just all been passed down. So let's get some magical unicorns. What an intensive read today. I don't feel like going to sleep anymore though, so that's good. Happy surprise. Sorry. Something very good is about to happen. We can read this, but we're not allowed to know. Remember, I was told that, the outcome. Wasn't allowed to know. All we are allowed to know as divine feminines, I want to say, is the resolution of difficulties, the weight lifted off your shoulders, and the end of an addiction or codependency. That's it. So, happy surprise. You're in for a treat, as you'll soon have a very happy surprise. Don't try to guess what will happen. Not marriage then. Oh, sorry, I'm just... Oh, okay. Take the song out of my head then. Instead, just feel excited and joyous. And it is. It's about just having the possibility, you know, just feeling that energy of what would it feel like to get married again, to be able to start over, to have the world in your hands, to have the abundance of money coming in, to be able to travel, to be an inspiration, to be respected, to be admired, to feel like you have worth, that you're contributing, that you've kind of left the tribe of warriors. There you go. Who was that? Might have been Jasper. Left the tribe. You know, it's just being happy. Happy surprises come in many forms, and you just need to notice them. The surprise may be a gift that you receive or a favour someone does for you. It might come as an unexpected kindness, a fresh opportunity, something valuable that you find, or some good news. This card also means that your dreams are coming true, although they may happen in different ways than what you expect. Still, you'll be pleased. All of these surprises are gifts of love. The more you notice them and say thank you, the more gifts you'll continue to receive. Have faith, because the world really does love to give to you. The world loves it when you're happy. I wanted to say something about, I totally lisp then. I spoke about the connection coming really, it's the divine masculine, divine feminine coming together is kind of like the treat, okay, after you've kind of done the surrender and you're on purpose. It's a natural process. So it may not be, you know, the way that you thought, but it's definitely, if you focus on purpose and you focus on this giving and receiving, this self-forgiveness and just sharing this love, it's the done deal. It comes in because you're vibrating at that level. So you will have the happily ever after. But everyone wants that first. It doesn't work like that. That's what everyone wants. This is about dropping all that codependency. The resolution of difficulties, a weight lifted off your shoulders, and the end of an addiction or codependency. Let's get one more. Family culture. It's definitely looking about traditions and changing these. It's a tough one. It's a tough one to walk away from when everybody else thinks that that you're doing the wrong thing. You're not doing the wrong thing. They will see that. You'll probably inspire them, but they're too scared, especially when it comes to marriage and staying in these. I don't want to say that I'm kind of like the marriage wrecker, but I don't really agree with people staying together if it's not, if they don't have this unconditional love, and either, you know, help them to work at actually achieving that within their unit, or, you know, actually helping them to gain the courage to leave. That's really what seems to be the case with people who know that they're not actually meant to be with a certain person. So learn more about your family stories and history. And most of it is about what others will think about it. I always like to say, well, what will others think if they knew that you stayed in a relationship that you wasn't happy in? That's not really doing the right thing, is it? It's so tough when you're trying to get out of a situation that you've got yourself into. Family culture. Your family's history affects you in many ways. This card asks you to learn about the stories of your family's past. Find out which countries your parents and their relatives came from. How did they travel to their current location? What languages have been spoken? What jobs have your family members held? And the answers to these questions and more will help you understand yourself better. You can also feel good about your heritage as you learn more about it. And learning about your family would help you feel closer to them. Sometimes you can see patternings in, like, oh, okay. Let me finish reading this and then I shall tell you about my dad. This card also says that your past may be affecting you right now. It asks you to remember anything in prior times related to your present circumstances. For instance, was there an experience in which you were scared or hurt? This card means that you need to clear this past energy, which you can do by talking to someone like a counsellor or trusted friend, writing about it or asking your angels to heal you. Perhaps there was an experience so long ago that you've forgotten about it. You can ask your inner self, especially as you're falling asleep, to help you remember whatever you need to know. The most important time in your life is right now, so don't spend too much time focused on your family's past. However, learning about it will definitely help you enjoy yourself more right now. So take the time to ask your family and your inner mind some questions about your past, but put most of your energy into enjoying all the present moments. There is a lot. Definitely try and tap into that meditation, that inner child healing. There's a lot about, if you were abused as a child, it's more than likely you've never spoke up about that and you're still holding that within. And there's actually a lot of people that have experienced child abuse, especially a lot of light workers. I was speaking to somebody the other day about this, and we were talking about incidents that had happened within our own lives and how we would say, wow, we're touching on something here, and clearing through it. And she said to me, it's because of our light. That's how you have to kind of look at it, that there's reason, but there's reason to kind of understand that we're here to try and stop that from happening in the future, to recognise that. And it happens to masculines as well. So it's not just a feminine thing, that it's just maybe feminines that may have been molested as children or attempted. If somebody, has intentions of doing something, and to what degree that goes to, I don't know. That would be just each person's. But most people I know have a story to tell to do with child abuse. But it's time. Why were we not able to speak to our parents? Why were we put in these situations? And a lot of it, if I would have told my parent, they wouldn't have believed me. And then if you did tell your parent older, there's more likely they turn around and say, why didn't you tell me? And so it's a tough one. So do that healing. Family culture. I was going to tell you about my dad. What was I going to tell you about my dad? About belief systems and asking questions. I spoke about how I asked my dad, this was on a video a few days back, I asked my dad why he didn't marry my mum. And so my dad, as far as I'm aware, had 3 serious relationships. He was married before my mum. He then left this lady because she liked men, okay, and was having affairs everywhere, and he knew this. My dad said to me, my dad is a true gent. He has never laid a finger on a woman, and to this day he would still, for me, my dad is a true gent. He never ever smacked me as a child, or even told me off, to be honest. He was one big softie. My dad has the biggest blue eyes, and it's very hard to look into them. You don't want to upset my dad and look into his eyes, because he's just joy, my dad's joy. And but he left his wife, and I asked him why he didn't marry my mum, and he said it was from the fear of actually getting hurt again. He just never wanted to get married again. But what had happened is, about a year, he said the date, so he knows that this isn't true, but his wife, his ex-wife, actually sent her friend to my dad and said that he needed to go back and be with her because she was expecting a baby. And my dad was like, that was not my baby. I saw exactly what was happening. The dates did not. He says they've been separated for a year. Them dates, he said I was being pulled into something, that she needed me. She wanted me to go and take care of her and her baby. And then he actually went on to meet my mum. My mum has a completely different story, because she actually thought that she couldn't have children, my mum, and it came out in the divorce with her husband that it was him that couldn't have children. So my mum didn't start having children, I believe, until she was, I think she might have been about 36 when she started to have children. She had me at 42, at my age. She had me at 42, so or 41. I think it might have been 41. And yeah, so very interesting. And then they didn't marry, but they had 3 children together, my mum and dad, and then they both separated. They couldn't really quite explain that. And I think that's where I got my being amicable when I separated with my husband, because I never heard my parents really. I think things did go on behind the scenes. There's some stuff that went on at court, and my mum, I believe, accused my dad of hitting her, which he just, so lies came out and manipulation in the court case. My dad said that he had my elder sister, because he wasn't, she was old enough, she was 13, to say where she wanted to go. He said that he would have had all 3 of us, but with the age, no, we stayed with my mum. And then actually he didn't really realise what happened, home life with mum, because we didn't really go and complain. We just loved to go off and hang out with dad at the weekends. So yeah, and then they kind of separated, and then they both found actually their true partners, which was beautiful. Unfortunately, my mum met hers as he'd just been diagnosed with cancer, but she decided to stick with the relationship and was there until the end. And then my mum didn't have any other relationships until she made her transition. So, and my dad went on, so it must have been about 6 years later, I believe. He was sent somewhere where he was working, and he met a lovely lady, and today is the day that she made her transition, my stepmom, and he married her. And that was a lovely relationship, a lovely, calm, relaxed. It was beautiful. And my dad got to experience that as well. My dad's still here because I believe he's an absolute awesome light worker. He's starting to recognise that now. I reckon he's got a good 20 years left in him. It's a lot to do some work. So there's always meaning. There's always meaning. And it's a story. It's a story, isn't it? Okay. Let's end on a journey of love. I'm going. I've been on long today. Oh, it's not too bad actually. 1 hour and 13 minutes. Third time lucky, eh? I'm not sure. Now, I wonder what would have happened if he had gone back to his wife and raised that child. I wouldn't be here. And all this happened at a later age. 42 to have me. Oh, wow. 3 to 1. That's perfect, isn't it? The book, it's here. Card number 10. Been seeing 10s everywhere. This is a lovely reading. It's definitely touching on getting over past marriages maybe and remarrying. I even remember my dad saying to me, what, you think you're going to remarry? And I'm like, well, I hope so. I don't want to be alone forever. Why can I not remarry? And I think, it even took him a while to actually speak about his stories and realise, well, actually, no, you should. That's when you kind of, you carry on and you find, but I've had that, this kind of, I felt a bit guilty about, am I not meant to remarry then? Am I not allowed to be happy? So, okay, 3-1. There is a heavenly child in your midst. It may be within your heart, in your womb, or a glimmer in your eye soon to be. This child holds the key to the fulfillment of a process that is happening for you now. The child might be a physical culmination, what's that? Culmination of your marriage. Wow, okay. Or commitment to another. It might be a symbolic birthing of a new self after a time of learning to bring male energies of protection and discernment together with female energies of feeling and creativity, whether within yourself or in your relationship or with another. The child might symbolically be a new life, an improved relationship, a book, a new job, a completely renewed way of dealing with what was once a challenging issue, and so soon will not be an issue for you anymore. Just to name some examples, from masculine to feminine to child, there is now just one, a new reality dawning with grace. This oracle holds a message for you. New life is upon you now. You are being reborn and you will give birth to what is meant for you this lifetime. There is no need to worry, just pray with an open heart that you may be supported and fulfill your destiny. You already are, of course, but prayer can help you realise it. The rest is in the loving and capable hands of the divine. Okay, let's read this poem. Love is what makes the heart beat faster. Oh, the lump in my throat, the feeling of missing you so much that I can't wait to be with you again. And then we are, and I look in your eyes deeper, and I know the unspoken words that say I love you, and feel the words in return. How short each lifetime seems, by what I feel with you, lasts forever. May love be the compass that guides you on the course of a lifetime. How beautiful is that? I might just read to you a poem. I've asked her permission whether I can read this, and it was a passage that they wrote over a year ago, and then a passage when they came into union, okay, when they kind of met their divine counterpart and the difference. So, let me just read them to you. Whereabouts is it? Let's go to WhatsApp. Oh, we need to turn this on, okay. It's perfect timing to do it. There's a reason why I asked. They've actually just texted me, so happy days. Right, okay. This is what was wrote. It was the 21st of March, there you go, 2018. I am in so much pain, but not physically. You can run your eyes over my plain milk white skin and not notice a single scratch from the pain I have is inside. It is a feeling that can only be described as though you are constantly falling in the dark with nothing to grab onto, lost and alone. Just because you cannot physically see my hurt does not mean that it is not there. I can stand amongst a crowd of people, friends and family, and feel as though I am the only one there, invisible. I can't even see or feel myself anymore. I no longer know my own identity. Who am I? Pretending to be so happy, feeling like a clown with the biggest smile painted on my face. I never liked clowns. They terrified me, but I suppose I am terrified to even look at myself. This is before I met this person. I don't even know when we kind of done our first session. But after we done our first session, she actually went away and met her divine counterpart. She's absolutely blown. I don't remember the actual reading, but this was actually wrote. They've been together 7 months now, and a beautiful couple. And this is what was wrote on the 21st of January 2019. That's my daughter's birthday. She was 19, my daughter. On that, it's not my daughter, but that's actually my daughter's birthday. I've just noticed. So this is what was wrote by the same person. "Who are we?" she would say to me as I stared into her emerald green eyes, distracted and not knowing how to reply, only thinking of how beautiful this girl is, and God, how I would miss the taste of her sweet lips. To be so overwhelmed and to question, is this real? To stop and to feel not a sadness or emptiness, but to be filled with pure joy. To wake with a smile and know I can no longer live in denial that I have fallen so hard, further and further into the dark. You are the light of my life who guides me when I cannot see, the person you adore and who I have always wanted to be. No longer broken and shattered into a million pieces, I can finally say I have been completed. You are sublime, and not a day will go by when I do not appreciate that you are mine." How beautiful is that? I'm just about to see this person soon. So let's leave the message there because I love listening to the love. It's amazing that she said to me, the honeymoon phase just doesn't go. It's just beautiful. So, and so in love. And I just love to hear her talk about the love. It's beautiful. Okay, so that's where you can go within it. Well, that was March to the January, so what's that, 10 months? Wow. Okay, transformation there. Okay, guys, thanks for sticking with me. There was a lot coming out today. It's a bit of an odd week, odd reading. I don't know. Okay, guys, I'm going to get off and I will catch up with you soon, so take care. Bye for now.